Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to the Carbon Literacy Action Day introduction webinar. We're really excited that we have such a breadth and depth and range of different organisations joining us today. We're really excited that you're here, and hopefully you'll learn a lot more about what our Carbon Literacy Action Day is and what it entails as well. It's an exciting event, it's a global event, and it's a big event, and every year I think the team can agree it just gets bigger and better. So before we begin, just a little bit of housekeeping to start. The session will be recorded and it will be made available after today as well. If we can just ask attendees that videos and mics and things like that are switched off, and it will only be the panelists actually that are visible for today's webinar. There will be, of course, an open Q&A session as well, and feel free to continue populating as the session goes on today. With also the limited time, unfortunately, we have today only 1 hour, but there will also be quite the opportunity to ask questions after. You'll have our contact email addresses for any other further information that you may have or may need at the end as well. This is also a note to say that this is a webinar that is solely really about the Carbon Literacy Action Day. So maybe some of you have already got a little bit of an idea of what the Carbon Literacy Project is and how it functions, but we won't be going into too much detail today around that, and it's mainly about our Carbon Literacy Action Day. So I am a little introductions really from us and the Carbon Literacy Project team. I'm Farah, and I work in the advocacy team with the Carbon Literacy Project, and I'm also a carbon literacy trainer. Chloe, who is working with Catherine and leading the team on CLAD, is also here today, as well as, we've got Ashley and Fiona with the IT team as well. Our exciting guest speakers, Amy Lowe Lake-Knott, who works for the City of Doncaster Council. We've got a Lisa Caton also as well from Synetique, and Nikki Ludgins, who is dialing in all the way from Australia. So we are very grateful for everyone's time today to be joining us on this webinar, and to really just sharing your experiences of you doing CLAD as well in previous years. So very much just going through a little bit of an agenda and what we have in store for you today. Today is really about setting the scene. So what is the Carbon Literacy Action Day? As it's been running for a few years, we're really excited to be again sharing the information on this and how it's just grown, and it really is an exciting event. We're going to be talking about who can get involved in CLAD, why take part. You have those leaders for COP28 that will be sitting and talking about the policy, but we're really about the action part of that, and that's what's important. We'll be talking about how you can join in, how you can potentially plan your training around this, how CLAD works, and a few more details around that. And again, one of the most exciting things about this is that carbon literacy, it's really about it being an event that is a global event. So this training is taking place all over the world. So it's a really, really exciting event to see what kind of action people are taking and how people are engaging with the climate crisis as well. We'll be helping you on the kind of promotional support you can do for your organisation. We'll be talking a little bit about the CLAD Catalyst Award, some case studies, and then we'll be rounding up with our exciting guest speakers and interviews who'll be talking about their experiences in previous years with CLAD. So here I'm just going to put a little bit of a graphic up about the Carbon Literacy Project. We are growing and growing, getting bigger and better. We have over 65,000 citizens that have been carbon literate certified, well over 500 courses that have become accredited. We are delivering in 24 nations plus. But again, more information, please do check out on our Carbon Literacy webpage of what we do, what we're about, and how we can help you become carbon literate as well. I'm now going to be handing over to Chloe, who's going to be discussing more details around CLAD and how you can get involved.
Hi, everyone, and thanks, Farah. So I'm just going to talk to you through what Carbon Literacy Action Day is. If you are a new organization which is not aware or hasn't participated into the previous edition, so essentially for CLAD, you will witness the largest number of individuals taking action and completing their training simultaneously from all walk of life and sector. So we're really excited to announce that we are running this year the third edition of CLAD. It will be happening on the 4th of December this year, and it will coincide with the United Nations COP28 climate negotiation. So this will be the biggest ever climate education and action training event, and everyone can be part of it. So what is CLAD is a unique day in the carbon literacy calendar as we catalyze climate education and action to receive or deliver a carbon literate certified course. And so CLAD, so far, this is the cumulated results from the past 2 years. So we had 943 individuals, 60 trainers and organizations involved, 25 sectors, 78 unique courses, and 12 nations involved in the previous 2 action days. So, it's growing every year, and this year we want to go even beyond and make it bigger. So my colleague Catherine will be talking to you through a CLAD Catalyst Award. Will be reflecting this idea to really take it to think big this year. So who can get involved in CLAD? So essentially everyone can get involved. It's a very inclusive event. So if you are an individual, you can get involved. We will be providing open courses. So we are working on this at the moment, discussing with trainers. So the open courses will be soon available on the CLAD webpage, and you just need to sign up to the one that you feel is the most relevant for you. If you are an organization, trainers that have an approved course, it will be very straightforward. You just need to sign up and deliver this course. The unique criteria to be take part in CLAD is to end the training on the 4th of December. And again, so if you are here today as a new organization, a facilitator or trainers, you just need to register your interest, and we will work with you on getting, an accredited course or an existing course that you can deliver to your learners. So yeah, CLAD it really is for everyone. So why to take part in CLAD? So it's a great way to be part of the largest low carbon climate education and action day. It's a great way to get involved in an exciting event organized by a United Nations recognized charity, while COP28 takes place in Dubai, and world leader will be discussing climate policies. So it's a good way as an organization or individual to take immediate and effective action to tackle the climate crisis. You can use the action day as a catalyst to generate increased level of involvement, activity, and excitement about carbon literacy within your community, organization, or way of life. And it's amazing to be a part of the breadth and diversity of carbon literacy for that day, as people from different backgrounds, countries all around the world all come together and complete their days worth of carbon literacy training. Again, it's an opportunity to reach a group that may be particularly hard to engage with, like senior leadership team. And it's great to showcase your commitment to climate action to your audience. So my colleague Catherine will be covering this in the second half of this webinar, but we'll be sharing with you a communication pack essentially with all the promotional material that you need to really, amplify and share this with your community to get as many people involved. And your learners will become certified with very unique certificates, which look a little bit like this. So this is an example, but you know, everyone loved having this unique certificate. You know, you can share it on your LinkedIn, and it's just a great way to engage conversation with your network on climate change. So how to join? So you really have to ask yourself, like, it's just two things. Do you have an accredited course that is tailored to the audience that you want to deliver training to? So if yes, you just need to register your interest via the job form if you haven't done it yet. I think my colleague actually have popped the link into the chat box. So you just need to do this, and then you will automatically be provided with a roadmap, which is a comprehensive guide with all the information you need to take part. And you just need to start to plan your training for the day. If you are not an accredited course and you are completely new to carbon literacy, it's absolutely fine, and it's very similar. You just need to sign up to the job form, and then we will assign a member of the carbon literacy project team. So we will help you write, design a course which is tailored to your audience, or potentially access to an existing course as well. That's possible. And then the first stage would be to write your course or plan your training. And then again, you can read the roadmap. And if you get stuck at any point, we'll be there to support you. And you can email us. We've got a CLAD dedicated inbox that we can share with you as well. So once you've confirmed your participation and that you have confirmed your plans, really just let us know what you want to do. So there will be a form that will be sending out to everyone around October time. So we would just need, it's a very top line, you know, information that we will need from you, like how many learners are you planning to deliver the course to within your organization, and what audience, if it's online or in person or hybrid, that kind of information. And then we will share with you in October as well the communication pack that will allow you to really promote your training with your network. And on the 4th of December, the action day will be held. So in terms of how you can plan your training, so there is essentially two things to really consider. You know, the concept and what make carbon literacy very unique and impactful is this framework of delivering a unique training tailored for your audience. So it's very important that you decide which audience is going to be, and to create a course which will be engaging and relevant for that audience. So that's really the two things that you need to consider: your audience and how you will train them. And so this is carbon literacy all around the world. So, you know, it's a fantastic email. It's the impact that the carbon literacy courses has all around the world. And more importantly, the fact that it's very fully inclusive and open to all. So Carbon Literacy Project started in the UK, and then for the COP21, we were chosen to be one of the organizations, top 100 organization, to attend the COP21 in Paris. That was really, you know, a great way for the project to get visibility, and we got a lot of opportunities from there to work with people all around the world. So in France, we started delivering, working with universities, as well as in Italy, and all across Europe. We are also based in America, where we work really closely with the Green Takeover that deliver amazing training across the United States and across universities all around the United States. We've got the pleasure today to have Mickey Lutkins, which we'll be having a conversation with later in the webinar, that will be sharing experience with CLAD, and she's a representative of the Edith Cowan University in Australia. So we're doing quite a bit of work in Australia as well. We have some exciting projects happening there, as well as in Asia, Africa, and in South America. So a colleague and a trainer, Carmen, has done a fantastic work in Guatemala, delivering the first carbon literacy training in South America. And we since as well launched carbon literacy training in Bolivia, where they receive funding to train hundreds of students. And finally, one of the story, which I think it's very impactful, and it allows us to now say that we are delivering training across the 7th continent, which is amazing. We recently launched carbon literacy training in Antarctica, so it's a milestone for us in the fight for climate change, and it's the first climate education training being delivered in Antarctica, and it's with the British Antarctic Survey, which is the world-leading central for polar science. So I would now show you a video that would really illustrate this and the boundless possibilities for carbon literacy and CLAD.
Hi, my name is Carmen Valenzuela, and I'm glad to be joining Carbon Literacy Project on the Carbon Literacy Action Day in the context of COP26. I am from Guatemala, and I will be delivering the first carbon literacy training in Latin America. After being trained myself, I recognize the value of being carbon literate and how it enables people to take action. I decided that I wanted to bring this knowledge into my own country and my context. I started to look for opportunities to contextualize this training, and I decided to start my own company, my startup that is called Hablemos de Futuros, to be able to train people. We know that this training is an important milestone into expanding what carbon literacy is and where it is being delivered. And that's why we wanted to join the Carbon Literacy Action Day, to be part of this big movement of change makers across the globe.
A friend of mine brought carbon literacy to me one day, and I thought it was great. We needed something like this that gives people a basic understanding of carbon and sustainability and the things they can do to reduce their carbon footprint. We started to train a few people, and the more people we trained, the more I realized how much I'd taken for granted that everyone understood the magnitude of this challenge. I was so wrong. And so I've learned that carbon literacy training is a great way to not only get people to understand, but to arm them with the tools that they need, that we all need to act. Being a carbon literacy trainer gives me a sense of hope. You can spend so much time just focusing on the challenges and looking at all of the problems, and truly, it can be really daunting. I just found that being part of carbon literacy was a much healthier way of working for me. I get to have conversations with like-minded people and to focus on the solutions to these challenges.
The British Embassy Zagreb team first got to know the carbon literacy team through a project the embassy was funding, and we quickly realized we could do something more together and make the British Embassy Zagreb the first carbon literate embassy. So the whole journey started with a group of brave individuals last summer who took the training and obtained their certificates. We then worked with the carbon literacy team to adjust the educational materials to our needs, and we then organized the education for the whole of Embassy last October. The educational materials are excellent, and in the end, I felt really good about teaching others something that I have learned. Also, the day of education was really inspiring. We had some really good discussions, and I think everyone felt really happy in the end of the day.
If there was any organization for whom, and I hate to say this, but for whom carbon literacy might not be necessary, wouldn't it be you?
It would be lovely to think that, Phil. However, I think whilst we have a lot of people who are very well informed on carbon and who even go as far as to inform the IPCC of the current situation in the poles, and our research is used for those ends. It is different when it comes to actually translating what needs to happen to our lifestyles and to the way we operate. It's also different when it comes to even being able to communicate about carbon on a level that everyone can understand. So whilst we have some incredible scientists within BAS who definitely understand the severity of the climate crisis, I would say there's still a lot to learn in terms of transmitting that information to others, from actually changing our own way of working and our own habits and lifestyles. So I think the carbon literacy course is actually quite valuable across the board.
Yes, so I hope that you find this video as inspiring as I do, and yeah, we hope that that would give you, a good understanding of what you can do for Carbon Literacy Action Day this year. If you still have any question on, how to get involved, and you need any support, just feel free to pop your question in a Q&A. We'll be there at the end of the session to answer to them. And I would just pass on now to my colleague Catherine, that will be covering the communication and promotional supports that will be providing. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Chloe. Hi, everyone. Great to see you all here today. I'm Catherine. I'm a communications officer here at the Carbon Literacy Project. And today I'm going to talk to you about how you can communicate about CLAD and the promotional support that we can offer. And in a few minutes, I'll also speak about the unique CLAD Catalyst Award that you could win by taking part in the Action Day this year. So first of all, we've got a range of promotional support that we can offer. And just to be clear, for the first point, we've got this for all training providers. And the second 2 points are just for those who are offering open courses. So first of all, with the communications pack, we created this for the previous 2 Action Days, and we'll be creating a new and improved version this year again. The aim of this pack is to assist you with any online promotion that you would like to do through a variety of channels. And the pack will include our family of CLAD international logos, which you can see in the top corner of the screen, a range of social media graphics that you can use to promote your involvement in CLAD, a selection of training photos that you may like to use if you don't already have photos from your own training sessions or cohorts, a communications guide with copy for a variety of platforms. So with social media, we'll have suggested copy for Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And there'll also be some suggestions for website and email too that you can avail of. There'll also be a press release template that you can use if you would like to publish a press release about your involvement in CLAD. And last but not least, a copy of our brand guidelines. So this pack will be made available in autumn time and will be sent to those training providers who have confirmed their course plans and are confirmed to take part in the Action Day. Now, moving on to Patagonia Action Works. So this is one of our offerings for those who are delivering open courses. And an open course, for those of you who aren't aware, is a course offering that is available to members of the public within a specific audience. So it basically means that anyone in the public can book on. And that's as opposed to, for example, if you're delivering internal training within your organization that you may not like externals to book onto. So for those who are delivering courses that are open to the public, we have access to the online platform Patagonia Action Works as we work with Patagonia. So this is a platform where we currently list and promote all of our carbon literacy courses, and we'll continue to do so for the Action Day. This is found on our website under the events page. So, and this is an image of what that page looks like. As a result of using Patagonia Action Works, we also have access kindly gifted from Patagonia to paid social media ads at no cost to the trainer. So if you're delivering an open course, then we can submit a paid social amplification, which is a really effective way of your course being able to reach people that you may not have otherwise been able to reach. And secondly, we've got the Carbon Literacy website and social media. So for all open courses, we'll also be creating a new webpage on our website where we can list all of the CLAD courses, and we'll also continue to do social media promotion of these throughout the year. So it means that you'll also have access to the Carbon Literacy audience and benefit from any promotion that we'll do. Now, with the CLAD Catalyst Award, so the Action Day is a really great opportunity to do something extraordinary for carbon literacy in the face of climate change. We're all in this collective fight against climate change together, and we all want to take the best action we can to make a difference. So that's why we introduced the CLAD Catalyst Award, an initiative that celebrates and recognises those who display catalytic carbon literacy training on the Action Day. There will be 3 winners of this award, and each winner will receive a unique prize. This year, the theme for the Action Day, the CLAD Catalyst Award, is Bigger, Better and Bolder. So how can you take your training to the next level and potentially be awarded for it? Bigger, better and bolder can mean anything. So that could mean for you a bigger course, bigger learner numbers, better action pledges from your learners, or a bolder audience. Maybe you want to train that hard to reach audience who could have a significant impact if they were equipped with climate knowledge. More information can be found on the CLAD Catalyst Award on our website or on the roadmap document that you can receive if you sign up for the Action Day. All you have to do is plan your catalytic training and tell us about it in the post-CLAD event form to be in with the chance to win. Last year was the first year that we introduced the CLAD Catalyst Award, and the theme last year was maximising impact. So on that note, I'd like to pass you over to our very first 3 winners of this award, who all truly maximised their impact last year and went the extra mile for carbon literacy on the Action Day. So I'll pass you over now to Amy from City of Doncaster Council, Nikki from Edith Cowan University in Perth, and Elisa from Synetic.
Thank you. Hi everybody. I guess I'm going first. So last year we took part in Carbon Literacy Action Day, and we wanted to mobilise change on a city level whilst acknowledging that we couldn't actually train every corner of the city. So what we did was we held Doncaster's Day of Action. So on the day we had 6 trainers deliver 6 different courses to 66 learners. We had general staff, we had our management and directors take the training, we had our elected members, we had members from the NHS, from South Yorkshire Police, social housing, and also Team Doncaster, so some of the sports. So we were kind of prepping them ready for the sports toolkit coming out as well. And we had, across the city, we had different community libraries, family hubs, all engaging with the community to kind of teach the lessons of carbon literacy as well, so the carbon footprinting and getting some action. So yeah, it was a really great day last year, just a Doncaster Day of Action.
Thank you, Amy. We'll pass over to Nikki in Perth now.
Hello, everyone. I'm all the way in WA, Western Australia, in Perth. And we ran our carbon literacy training program to the Department of Water and Environmental Regulation, which is a state government organization. It was pretty cool. They actually heard about the fact that we had a training program at one of our research out flashlight events and approached us. And then through the discussion, we decided to run it over 4 separate sessions to a group of 25 staff members, including their graduates. And what we did was, it was actually the way I did my training, and I got a lot out of breaking up 8 hours into 4 separate sessions, which I'm sure many of you already do, because it gave everybody time to go away and really embed some of the learning into their lifestyles and explore how they can develop their action plans. The group was made up of a really broad range of employees at what we like to call DWER, Department of Water Environmental Regulation, and through negotiation we'd end up saying let's end it, so do the final session on CLAD Day, which from memory was, I can't remember actually, in December last year. And the room was full of young people who knew some things about carbon literacy, but didn't know exactly how to embed it. And then there was some other people in the room who knew so much that were very happy to be to share. And that was one of the nicest things that I learned. I learned a lot from people in the room, being a Department of Water, they are the custodians of the West Australian climate policy. They've actually taken on board the really embedding climate and climate discussions across all our state government departments. So they're very motivated, and on the final day, the Director General of the Department of Water actually came along to encourage all of the graduates to take part in submitting their action plans. And I think it made a huge difference to how many actually did come in. Getting that very high level engagement and support for the program was wonderful and really helpful. So we're really excited. It obviously must have done something internally at the department, because they have reached out again this year and are making it an ongoing feature of their graduate program. And I'll be delivering the training program again this year, and again to align with Carbon Literacy Action Day, as a result of how much engagement there was within the department. So each of the members that took part in the program came up with action plans for themselves. But then as a group, as a cohort, they also developed some programs for the department on a broader organizational scale. Things like creating SharePoints and sharing literature and tips and examples and cookbooks that had lower carbon emissions and so on. And so really, sort of personal, but also part of their community, and then broader again. And obviously being a state department that had implications for the entire state. We're in Western Australia. It's a resource-rich, unfortunately, state. So there's a lot of mining in WA, but consequently, there's also a lot of education that can go far and wide. And it's the biggest state in Australia. So it's sort of a third of the continent is Western Australia. Anyway, really exciting stuff, and we're continuing to do it. And I'm also embedding it now into our program. So it's become a feature of some of our postgraduate courses. And I'm reaching out to other organizations, local governments, and other institutions to get more traction around carbon literacy. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. That's all incredible stuff. And now I'll pass over to Lisa at Synetic.
Thanks very much for having me, guys, today. And yes, I'm Elisa. I'm the Sustainability Manager at Synetic. Synetic is one of the largest vehicle recycling dismantling companies in the UK. So we're very involved in end of life of our cars and vans and things like that. So sustainability is super important to us. And as a result, we held 3 carbon literacy courses on Carbon Literacy Action Day last year. So we aimed one of those sessions at our clients, one of those sessions at local organisations within the Doncaster, Sheffield area, and also aimed one of our courses at our parent company in the States, IAA. And so that really helped us to kind of mobilise lots of learners across the board who have a lot of input into where changes can be made within their organisations, which is very exciting, of course. And for our parent company session, we made a few amendments to our training slide pack for those in the States. adding in some geographically specific content for them about the impacts of climate change and actions that have been taken over in the States to address climate change, how that compares on a global scale. And so the session really helped to broaden that education piece in the States within our parent company. And as a result, we achieved one of the 3 Carbon Literacy Action Day Catalyst Award last year. And in addition to that, one of our learners from the local organisations went on to engage with Carbon Literacy Project 2 to understand how they could roll it out within their own organisation, which is really nice to see as well. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Brilliant stuff, Elisa. Thank you so much. So I'll pass over to Farah now for some interviews with each of the guest speakers.
Thanks, guys. You've given really us so much detail about kind of what you did for CLAD and the impact that it had on your organisation. So it's really, really fantastic to hear that it's sort of almost taken a life of its own. So what I'd just like to do is take a bit more of a relaxed approach, really, and sort of do a bit of a conversation really about this. I know that you've already gone into a bit more detail about CLAD, but I suppose my first question is kind of for you all, and anyone please that wants to answer first, that would be great, would be what really made you take part in CLAD in the first place? If you can remember that time before, or take it back a year or two, what made you think, oh, actually, yeah, this would be a really interesting event to take part in? What was the kind of motivation? And I'll throw that out to any one of you 3.
I can take that one if you're happy for me to do that.
Yeah.
First, yeah, so we really wanted to get involved because in 2019, the City of Doncaster Council declared a climate and biodiversity emergency. It took 2 years for us to get a sustainability unit and a strategy in place following that. So it felt really important that we got the unit built the year before, and we needed to move really, really quickly on action because we'd taken 2 years to get a strategy and we'd taken 2 years to get a team together. So it was really important for me that we got involved immediately. There's so much missing from the conversation around public engagement and behaviour change. So we really noticed through the carbon literacy training ourselves. Local authorities, as you know, got about 30-40% influence. So we needed to look at how we could maximise our influence in the local area as well. So really important as part of our strategy that when I talk about us involving family hubs and community libraries, we trained all of those staff. So those staff were out in the communities, being able to increase that impact. So it's kind of looking at what were, we also looked at our data, we analysed our data for Doncaster, what were our priority emission reductions. So yeah, it was really, the reason of taking part last year was really to mobilise that quick change because we'd sat on this for a couple of years and we wanted to, you gave us a great opportunity with the theme, maximise impact. That's exactly what we wanted to do.
Brilliant. It sounds like you took quite a strategic approach as well, and you just kind of jumped on that wagon. The momentum was there, and you thought, right, let's get this done. And what better way to do that with something like CLAD, where we feel that energy, we feel that buzz, and lots of organisations take part as well. So that's really great. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
And I suppose,
Can I add something?
Yes, please go ahead.
Sorry, Farah. I guess I think along the same lines as Amy. You know, it's so easy to say, well, what's the point of just me doing something? And I think when you're part of something bigger, and CLAD provides that, it really it helps boost people's enthusiasm and engagement in the whole carbon literacy in general. And I think for us, when delivering to a department, a state department, was really powerful in that it's telling the community that the government cares. And so being part of carbon of the Action Day is also another encouragement for people to actually take action and to be part of something bigger. So I think the participants enjoyed being part of something bigger. It tells other people. The socials went a bit mad. The university loved it. So I think that's all. It's all positive, and I think that's a really important part of these of coming together on Action Days.
Yeah, and it's that leading by example and that top down. You know, sometimes people get really sort of disheartened with the stagnant inaction from the top, and the fact that you kind of, you know, started with that and it was led by that is really amazing, actually. And I can certainly see that from the little introduction that you gave as well, the kind of the impact that it had. So that's really great. So I suppose my next question is, kind of having sort of known that you've done CLAD, and it's sort of you've done it for your organisation. What were the kind of nitty-gritties around delivering the training itself? Does anyone want to talk to that, sort of the kind of hours perhaps that you dedicated for the course, the logistics around it? Was it a nightmare? Was it okay? Anyone want to talk to that at all?
Yeah, I'll dive in there. So for us, delivering across 2 separate sort of time zones was quite hard, and I actually delivered a session in UK time zone and then had a little break and then delivered our session to our colleagues over in the States.
Dedication.
Very long day, but yeah, it was absolutely worth it to be able to get everybody on board with that session. Yeah,
brilliant stuff. And I suppose my final question for everyone, what are your plans? You've talked a little bit, I suppose, you know, in your introduction about CLAD this year, but will you be taking part in Bigger, Better, Bolder? And I suppose, what will that look like for you? I mean, it sounds like you've already done so much. How can you possibly get bigger and better and bolder? But perhaps you can give the audience a few little hints around what you'll be doing this year.
Happy to take that one, because I think Catherine and Chloe know I've got very big designs this year. Yeah, so when we did the community engagement last year, part of that was that we were doing a bit of appreciative inquiry with residents, with different community groups. So we've collected that data that we got from last year. And so again, it's very strategic, Farah. We've looked at what are our priority areas in terms of emissions reductions we need to act on. And then we've looked at attitudes in the community. And not just on a City of Doncaster level, we've looked per community. What is the priorities for certain people in certain communities? Fantastically, it came out as transport. So that was brilliant, because that is our priority. So what we've now got this year is, how do we actually mobilize change in those focus areas? So we've taken the sports toolkit. We're looking to launch that on the day, because a lot of these people were sports fans, and we can kind of work with them in that way. We're also looking at the social housing side, because home energy efficiency was a big target for our residents last year. We're looking at the parish councils toolkit, because we know how much they're community leaders and they can really mobilize some change there. And then we're also working on, our elected members, our senior directors that we missed from last year, and looking at all the staff that we're missing in some key service areas. So we don't have a lot of planning colleagues that have currently taken place on the training. So we're looking at actually targeting those specifically as well. And to get the communities involved in this again, we're actually looking at how we do that. So we're actually extending, we're actually going to extend beyond Action Day this year, and we're going to do Doncaster's Week of Action, which will then reach its crescendo on Action Day, let's say. And we're running a micro grant scheme to allow those community groups to get involved as well. And hopefully the community toolkit will be out by then, and we'll be able to deliver that as well. So yes.
So you really are amazing. You're taking this to certainly a whole new level. It's not just a day for you guys, it's a kind of accumulation to that day. So of the others listening there, a little bit of friendly competition, hopefully, I don't know, but absolutely people in different organizations are certainly taking lots of different approaches on this. So if that's something that works for you, absolutely, why not? You know, you've got to gain that momentum, and as you said, you've taken that very strategic, targeted approach to different communities, and what better way to do it. So I'm going to take this opportunity to thank you all very much for your time, and wherever you are in Australia, and I hope it's not too late at the moment, and just again giving us a little snapshot into your CLAD experiences and what you've done so far. It's been really, really great listening to that, and we really appreciate your time in sharing that with us. So good luck with it, and we're looking forward to hearing about how it went as well. So thanks so very much, guys. So we're now just going to move on to take a few more questions, a bit of a Q&A session. We've seen some questions coming in into the Q&A box there. You will have the opportunity as well to answer and to have further questions answered after today's session. But I wonder there if anyone, so Ashley's been doing a really great job of picking up some of these, and hopefully some of the key questions have been answered. If anybody else, if any one of my colleagues want to pick up those questions and answers, you certainly can. One of these questions that have just come in, I'll just read out. Hi, great calls. In order to move forward prior to registering for Action Day, it would be useful to know what the associated costs for courses are, and that may apply in becoming a trainer via CLAD. Thank you. I don't know, does someone want to take this? Costs involved?
I think I can take this, although I might not have the most accurate or up-to-date answer. So apologies in advance, but yeah, so there's no cost to actually take part in the day. But in terms of, so I see it's a train, you may want to become a trainer. So our carbon literacy facilitator accreditation is free, and that essentially allows you to facilitate courses. So it's not actually delivering training, but you can support the delivery with another carbon literacy trainer or an organization. There is a cost attached to getting that CLT, carbon literacy trainer accreditation, and there may be some fees in terms of course accreditation, but nothing major or over the top. So yeah, hopefully the cost wouldn't be too much of a barrier in that sense. There is also the option of working with another organization or having access to a toolkit, which may be better for some people in terms of the price. So I hope that answers, but there is more information on our website, and you can also get in touch with clt@carbonliteracy.com or info@carbonliteracy.com for more information on pricing.
Thanks for that, Catherine, and I hope that's clear. And again, you know, you can get more information from the website and the relevant CLAD information that's on there as well. Just a few of the questions that we'll touch on before we end today's session. I have already completed the form. Approximately how long will it take before people get back to me? Maybe Chloe, that's one for you.
Sorry, yeah, we're just unmuting. Yes, so how long? It just depends. So if you are a new organization, which I assume that's what you mean, we will be going through all the registration in the next few weeks. So we were kind of waiting, you know, after that webinar to kind of start to get in touch with everyone, and we will prioritize, you know, organizations that don't have an accredited course, because we're very conscious, you know, that it can take a bit of time to design this. So yes, I would suggest that will be, you know, within like the next couple of weeks. If you are a new accredited, a new organization, will get in touch with you. So yeah, but if you haven't heard back, or if you have, you know, like a specific question, just feel free to message me directly via the CLAD inbox as well.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Chloe. And I hope, again, that answers your question. So another question here that came up, I think it was there, but now it's disappeared. So that one may have already been answered. And the following ones have also been answered as well. So I think that's probably it for our Q&A session. If again you've got any other questions, you can send them straight across to our team. And thanks so much, Ashley, for answering those questions as they come in and as they've come in as well. I'll just give it another minute, perhaps if there are any more questions coming in that we perhaps haven't been able to answer. Chloe, are you able to see any of the other questions perhaps that have come in?
I can actually see one about the CLAD Catalyst theme. It's so, you know, just to expand a little bit on the bigger, better and bolder, what it means really. It's, you know, bigger means in terms of the cohorts, you know, like a bigger training, more people, essentially more trainers. In terms of data, it's, you know, we really want this year for everyone to focus on the quality of the training and the resources that are shared, the unique, you know, exercise that create great engagement during the training. You know, we always feel like when there is a great interaction, that it's just had a better impact. And for the bolder aspect, it's mainly the bolder impact that it will have on the audience and, you know, their network and their community. So yeah, just in terms of what actions will be taken on the back of the carbon literacy, we're expecting, you know, some amazing pledges and action on the back of it, and engaging, you know, their network and their sector. So yeah, I hope that answered your question on the CLAD Catalyst Award. But I know that Catherine will be communicating on the award as well, and how to enter further down the line.
Yeah, thanks, Chloe. If there's something I could just add to that, because I'm seeing some more questions about tips for running large sessions, or I know that first person who asked about the bigger, better, bolder thing mentioned about course sizes. So essentially, yes, with carbon literacy, sometimes a smaller group can result in more engaging and effective training for learners. But this is a unique day in the carbon literacy calendar, and one where we can go the extra mile and take our action bigger. So what we like to say is that while our world leaders are gathering at COP26 to negotiate on climate policy, carbon literacy learners are going to be on the ground taking action. It's real everyday people whose lives are being affected who are going to be taking carbon literacy and rolling with it. So it really is our chance to make a splash for this unique day. In terms of some tips for running training to a large group of people, you can structure your course in a way that, for example, if you hire in a carbon literacy facilitator, which I mentioned this a bit previously, that a carbon literacy facilitator doesn't necessarily deliver training but can support with course admin, breakout rooms, things like that. And we've got a full bank of carbon literacy facilitators. So if that's something that you're interested in availing of, you can get in touch with us either at clad@carbonliteracy.com or clt@carbonliteracy.com to find out more about what facilitators we have available and what sectors they would be suitable for. Another thing is that if you have a lot of learners that you would like to train on the day, you could split your courses into two. So for example, if you did a Friday and Monday course, or 3 subsequent Mondays, for example. So this could mean that you're splitting out that training a bit more evenly and enabling all of your learners to still receive that effective, engaging training. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, that is super useful for that detail there. That's great. So I suppose what we can do is round up today's session and talk about the next steps beyond this. So if we can just get that slide up on the next steps, that would be really useful. So next steps for everyone, and hopefully having gathered some information from today's CLAD webinar, you can sign up for CLAD via the JOT form. The link hopefully has now been put into the chat. You can start planning your training, and this again can take any form. Remember to think big, and hopefully the definitions around what that means exactly have been clarified a little bit better, and hopefully you'll come to kind of work that out a little bit more as you start planning your training. Also, do get in touch with us at CLAD at carbonliteracy.com if you have any questions, or if you need any further support on any of the topics and aspects of CLAD that we have discussed today. I'll just put on another information slide as our final slide today from our CLAD webinar. There's just a little bit more information there, and you can go straight to the website again to help register and get more of that information. So that pretty much takes us up towards the end of today's session. We're finishing in a little bit early, so we can perhaps stick around if people have got a few more questions. But other than that, I would like to say thank you very much for everyone that's taken the time out of their busy day to understand what CLAD is and what that means for us at the Carbon Literacy Project. And we really look forward to seeing more people register. And as Catherine said, while those leaders are making those decisions, we on the ground are actually taking action to reduce our carbon emissions. So thank you very much for today, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.